This message will probably not be for everyone, and if you came across this video, it is because you are finally ready and should watch it until the end. After all, coincidences do not exist. Everything in the universe happens in perfect synchrony, and the fact that you are here now is a sign that the universe is guiding you and has brought you here. What I am about to share can completely transform your view on life, your purpose, and your destiny. Spirituality teaches us that the search for external approval is a way of disconnecting from ourselves. When we are constantly worried about what others think, we divert our attention from our inner purpose and start living according to the expectations of others. This not only distances us from our essence, but also makes us forget that each of us has a unique value and a mission of our own. By letting go of this need to please, we make room to listen to our inner voice that guides us, allowing intuition and spiritual wisdom to take the reins of our lives. Constantly worrying about other people's judgment is a sign that we are putting other people's opinions above our own growth and happiness. From a spiritual perspective, the path to true peace is to embrace who we really are, without masks, understanding that acceptance and genuine love begin from within. Freeing ourselves from this concern is an important step towards aligning ourselves with our divine essence, because spirituality preaches that our value cannot be measured by the opinions of others, but rather by the love and respect we have for ourselves. Self-love and self-respect are fundamental to a full and balanced life. When we cultivate self-love, we are recognizing and valuing our own essence, accepting our imperfections and our qualities. This recognition creates a safe place where we can express our true feelings and desires without fear of being judged or discriminated against. Self-respect is the manifestation of this love through actions that honor our limits and needs. By respecting ourselves, we make decisions that reflect what we truly want and deserve, thus creating a positive cycle that strengthens us emotionally. Together, these practices encourage us to face life's challenges with confidence, in addition to attracting healthier relationships and connections with others. It is natural to feel hurt or sad when someone judges us. After all, we are social beings and we tend to worry about what others think. Sometimes, this concern reaches an exaggerated proportion, and before we know it, we are trapped in constant thoughts about how we will be seen or evaluated. But this invisible prison consumes our peace and steals our freedom. What if true emotional stability, the feeling of freedom, and authentic relationships depend precisely on not caring so much about what is unimportant, about things that, in reality, do not make that much difference? When we let go of this obsession with external validation, we begin to see the world as it really is, because this demand to fit into other people's expectations creates a suffocating environment where our true essence is stifled. This attitude enriches us, as it allows us to be truly ourselves, without false appearances or defenses, promoting a sincere exchange of feelings and experiences. This change of focus not only relieves social pressure, but also strengthens our sense of identity. When we focus on cultivating our own experiences and living according to our values, we begin to feel more secure and confident in ourselves, creating a virtuous cycle of self-confidence and emotional balance. This self-discovery teaches us that true happiness lies in being true to ourselves, always putting ourselves first regardless of what others think or expect of us. When we begin to free ourselves from this need for approval, something deep begins to change within us. Imagine waking up in the morning and your first thoughts are only your own, without the worry that your thoughts are contaminated by the fear of other people's judgment. You dress according to what makes you feel good, choosing clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident, and not to please or fit into other people's expectations. Throughout the day, words come out easily, without the constant tension of trying to predict whether others will agree with what you say or how they will react. The freedom to be authentic is one of the most rewarding feelings we can experience, because it brings immense relief. It almost seems like the body breathes better when the soul stops carrying the weight of judgments. This feeling of lightness is a balm that nourishes our spirit, invigorates our mind, and brings a peace we didn't know we could have. When you allow yourself to live from your essence, something magical happens. You feel like you're coming home after a long journey. There's a thirst for freedom within each of us, a desire to live authentically and fully, but it's often stifled by external pressures. When you start to quench this thirst, life takes on a new color. Everything seems more vibrant, more real. You start to value who you really are, instead of trying to fit into molds that don't represent your true nature. By being yourself, you unlock a level of authenticity that would otherwise be difficult to achieve. You stop the habit of trying to keep up appearances, of pretending to be someone you're not, which in itself is already very exhausting. On the other hand, when we live to meet other people's expectations, the pressure is immense. Anxiety sets in without us realizing it, and stress becomes a constant companion. These are two burdens that many of us carry on a daily basis. Living under stress, always trying to anticipate what others will think or how they will react, creates a heavy mental load that distorts our perception of what is truly important. The mind becomes occupied with assumptions and fears, generating wear and tear that builds up until it exhausts us. It is like a dark cloud over your head, a constant worry that distorts your thoughts into a web of what-ifs and would-that's. What if people don't like what I'm wearing? What if they think my work isn't good enough? Should I have said this? Should I have done that? These thoughts are destructive and feed insecurity, taking the focus away from what really matters: your well-being and your inner peace. When you decide to stop caring about other people's opinions, this burden begins to diminish. Your thoughts become clearer, your mind is free to see things in a more relaxed way, and decisions become easier because they are now based on what you truly feel and believe, rather than what others expect of you. You will notice that as your stress and anxiety decrease, you are no longer wasting emotional energy on unnecessary worries. This newfound energy can now be directed towards something constructive. This clarity brings a new vision, focused on your own thoughts and feelings, rather than the thoughts and feelings of others. You are guided by your own intuition and sense of what is right, without being influenced by the fear of other people's judgment. Reducing stress is not just a mental change. Your body feels the effects too. Little by little, your heart stops racing when you imagine that someone might be watching or criticizing you. Those knots in your stomach begin to disappear as you move away from the habit of reliving past conversations, trying to find what you could have done differently to please someone. You begin to relax, both physically and emotionally. And when your body calms down, your mind also aligns, creating a positive cycle that promotes your well-being. In addition, when you stop trying to please everyone, you have more energy left over to dedicate yourself to what really matters. You stop wasting your emotional energy on worries that don't get you anywhere, and start channeling that energy into activities that make you feel happy, such as hobbies, relationships that truly add positive things, and projects that nurture your growth. It's as if you were watering the plants in your own garden, instead of using your water to sustain other people's gardens. This self-care isn't selfish, it's self-care, and it enriches not only your life, but also the lives of the people you live with. When you are well, your positive energy naturally impacts those around you. When you stop worrying about what others think and put your own needs first, freeing yourself from external judgments and expectations, you tap into a deep source of inner power. Your actions are no longer driven by obligation, but rather by genuine desire. This does not mean that you are indifferent to others, but rather that you are beginning to act authentically. This authenticity allows you to attract people who resonate with your energy and values. These relationships become more vibrant, where everyone can express themselves freely. In addition, you inspire those around you to do the same, creating a domino effect of positivity and authenticity. This deeper connection allows you to build more meaningful relationships, moving away from superficial interactions that are often guided by unrealistic expectations. As you delve deeper into this journey of self-acceptance, you will notice a transformation not only in yourself, but also in the way the world responds to you. People are drawn to your confidence and vibrant energy, which results in a more harmonious and supportive environment. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight, but each step towards self-love and authenticity contributes to continued growth. Over time, you'll find that by prioritizing yourself, you're not only taking care of yourself, but also becoming a positive force that enriches the lives of everyone you meet. Setting clear boundaries is essential when you stop living to please others. These boundaries act as protective barriers for your emotional health. By drawing these lines, you communicate to yourself and others that your well-being is a priority and that you're willing to protect it. This strengthens your self-respect and helps you maintain a more assertive and confident stance in situations. When you start saying no without feeling guilty, it shows that you understand that you don't have to sacrifice yourself to be accepted. On the contrary, true acceptance begins when you value who you are without molding yourself to please anyone else. There is a misconception that putting yourself first is a sign of selfishness, but this could not be further from the truth. True self-love transforms not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. When your actions are born from self-respect and inner balance, you become a more loving parent, a more present friend, and a more engaged member of the community. Your positive energy inspires and uplifts those you meet. Now, imagine all the emotional and mental energy you save by letting go of other people's expectations. Don't change who you are for the sake of others. The constant pressure to conform to other people's expectations of who we should be is a challenge that almost everyone faces at some point, and most of the time, it starts very early in life. Society teaches us that we must behave in certain ways in order to be accepted. We receive messages from all sides, from family, friends, and the media, about how we should be, what we should strive for, and how we should behave. These messages create a kind of invisible mold, and the constant effort to fit into this mold is exhausting. Every time you adjust your behavior to please someone else, you are actually giving up a part of yourself, and this undermines your self-esteem and self-love. Over time, you may even forget who you really are, because your essence is buried under layers of masks and personas that you have adopted in order to seek acceptance. When you stop seeking external approval, you find that the world begins to accept you exactly as you are. Authenticity calls for authenticity, and by being true to yourself, you attract genuine connections and relationships, enriching your life in ways that were previously unattainable when you tried to conform to others' expectations. Plus, being who you are unapologetically brings a profound sense of freedom. Imagine what it would be like to let go of this need to conform and instead embrace the unique person that you are. It's a huge transformation, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. There's a huge relief in realizing that you can be happy just the way you are, without having to constantly adjust. When you choose to live according to your values, without worrying so much about what others will think, you discover an inner strength that is incredibly powerful. This strength not only makes you feel more alive, but it also gives you the courage to explore new horizons, venture outside your comfort zone, and experience life more fully. This emotional independence brings another gift. It significantly improves the quality of your relationships. When you don't depend on others for your happiness, you allow each person in your life to be free to be who they are, without pressure or unrealistic expectations. When you are responsible for your happiness, you don't place the burden of your emotional well-being on your loved ones. This frees them to be themselves, which in turn allows for a truer, healthier connection. This creates more authentic bonds, where love and friendship flourish, because they are built on truth rather than the need for emotional fulfillment. Both parties feel more complete, more fulfilled, and more able to share a meaningful life. The search for happiness is something we all share, but we often try to find it in people and places outside of ourselves. When we depend on external factors for our contentment, our emotional well-being becomes fragile, as if we are handing over the keys to our joy to others, whether it be to friends, family, or even society as a whole. Taking care of your own happiness has a direct benefit. It's resilience. Life is full of ups and downs. It's unpredictable and challenging. But by building happiness that comes from within, you become better prepared to deal with these challenges without being shaken, because your well-being is not easily shaped by external factors. It's not necessary for everything around you to be perfect for you to feel good, because you've developed an internal refuge of happiness that you can draw on regardless of external circumstances. This resilience allows you to react with more balance to the challenges that life presents, without relying on external sources to be happy. Your emotional state becomes more stable and centered. It's not that you won't feel the natural emotions of life, but your core feeling of happiness remains firm, like a strong and unshakable tree amidst constant changes in the weather. By building this internal foundation of happiness, you also begin to live with more ease. Instead of constantly seeking approval from others or adapting to external expectations, you feel free to be who you really are, with security and self-confidence. When happiness comes from within, your actions and decisions are no longer guided by the fear of displeasing or the desire to please everyone. This brings peace to your path, allowing you to live according to your values and purpose, without feeling the need to justify your choices. When we do not depend on other people to be happy, we stop projecting the responsibility for our happiness onto our relationships. This creates more sincere bonds, where both can grow and support each other without pressure. The internal stability you build reverberates in your interactions, strengthening relationships that truly matter and providing an environment of mutual support. To achieve this emotional freedom, it is essential to invest in self-knowledge. Take time to explore who you really are, what you like, what bothers you, and what moves you. The more you know yourself, the more you can create favorable conditions for your happiness to flourish. Also, practice gratitude. By focusing on the good things that are already part of your life, you rediscover that happiness is not found in distant places, but in the here and now, in the details that often go unnoticed. Another important step towards this emotional freedom is developing self-acceptance. Accepting yourself completely, with your qualities and imperfections, allows you to free yourself from the need to seek an idealized version of yourself. When we accept who we really are, we give less power to external criticism and we strengthen ourselves internally. Acceptance teaches us that we do not need to change our essence to please or belong. On the contrary, it encourages us to be authentic, understanding that our uniqueness is, in fact, one of the greatest sources of strength. In addition, cultivating habits that nourish the mind and body is essential for this journey. Practices such as meditation, physical activities, and moments of solitude help to stabilize our emotions and reduce negative feelings and energies, bringing clarity to everyday situations. Every small act of self-care is a reminder that you are worthy of attention and respect, and this builds resilience. By valuing these moments of self-care, you build a solid foundation of well-being where your happiness is not easily shaken, no matter what is happening in the outside world. Life is made up of these little things: the sunshine at the end of the afternoon, a sincere laugh, a moment of silence that calms the mind. When we learn to value what we have, we find happiness in a much more accessible way. It's time for you to leave behind the need for approval and live authentically. The path may not be easy, but it will certainly be more rewarding. Celebrate who you are, recognize your own beauty, and live life more lightly. Each step taken in this direction is a step towards a truer and more complete life, where you feel at peace with who you are and with the choices you make. It's time to be free. You deserve it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with others so they can also benefit from this message, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive our new content on spirituality. May God bless your life. See you soon.